Last time on the Adventures of Gaia. In an effort to be useful to the circus, the party ran errands which included retrieving some treasures from a monster-inhabited cave. While the rest of the group celebrated their success, Magnus caught sight of a news video of him casting magic in Eager, and Letty being vaporized.
There's a dimly lit tent. There's little light globs floating around. There's a bunch of people sitting in hushed, quiet kind of rows of seating. There is a stage in the middle of the tent, and there's a pole that goes, a silvery pole that goes all the way to the top of the tent. And there is a saxophone playing somewhere in the background, playing a languid, sexy tune. And everyone's attention is fully wrapped to this dancer who's performing on the stage. She meets all their gazes with a bit of a wry smile. And just then, the tent opens, and another tiny little woman stumbles in and kind of looks around. And people it kind of breaks the illusion for a moment. And so everybody kind of gives this newcomer a look, and you see this tiny pixie-like individual. She's only about 4 feet high. She doesn't look so sneaky right now. She looks a little out of sorts. Letty, you've been sent over to find someone named Ruja, because some people at the circus thought you might work well with her. She's the one performing on the stage. She looks like this. She is about that level of dressed. There's 3 or 4 different of the rough hands that the circus uses to kind of stand there with clubs. Not that it's required. Ruja's skill at burlesque is so good that everyone seems to sit there in their chairs, kind of like men, women, androgynes. They all seem spellbound by her charms.
Of course.
So, Ruja, you realize immediately, you don't even have to be told, that someone has probably decided that you have an underling or someone who could possibly work with you, either in the midway, spying out individuals for pickpocketing, or for maybe a burlesque performance. But she has broken your flow, and everyone's kind of stopped and is looking at her. What do you do?
Hello. Welcome to my performance. Who are you?
I'm Letty. Hi.
Hi, Letty. Would you
I
like to come to this stage? Would you like to try it with me?
Okay. I have 2 left feet, but okay.
So I'll take Letty by the hand, bring her over to the stage, and we'll do a couple of circles around the stage. I'll do my sexy walk and see if Letty tries to copy it.
Okay. All right.
We've got the heels, and they step crossed a little bit, and yeah, the sexy walk.
Okay. Thank you for describing it. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an extra viewer here. There's someone else who wants to see the show.
It's a great audience member.
It's another audience member.
It's my favorite audience member.
Yes, your cat meows and walks around and rubs against some of the patrons. They don't even notice. They're just like, one guy's got his chips with all of his core credits on. He just kind of drops it on the ground. He goes to pick it up.
The cat picks up the money.
Yeah, the cat bites the money and runs off. He goes,
That's what he's trained to do.
Of course. Okay, you bring Letty up on stage. Letty, how does Letty feel? You see all these eyes. There's only 40 people in the tent. It's a small tent. It's a sideshow on the circus. But they all have rapt attention. They're all kind of watching. How does Letty handle this?
Letty feels a little bit anxious. She's kind of like, oh, there's loads of eyes on me. But she kind of starts moving this whole heap of hair, just and then automatically she's like, Letty, you can do this. And you know the scene from Flashdance with the chair and stuff? She's totally going into that. Just I'm totally gonna make this work. Just hair and tails everywhere.
Okay. The little tiny one starts dancing around.
And since she's so high energy, Rouge will take that opportunity to start climbing the pole.
So with an amazing amount of upper body strength, while she's dancing around and all these sparkles are coming out and she's going do around the stage, people are going, some of them are kind of into it, some of them are kind of like, well, some are like, oh, she's really cute, okay, and her hair kind of flows behind her. Even as you're pulling yourself up on the pole and kind of whipping around in strange, almost serpentine-like movements that seem to defy gravity and defy your body size and strength. As you're twirling on the pole, you see that the crowd needs some encouragement. You kind of beckon out to them and motion. I think they need a reminder that tips are encouraged.
Okay. So from the pole, she's probably like halfway up. She will cast force field and start walking around the pole inside the force field. It'll have to be 2 meters tall because she's not tiny. She's. So let's cast that force field first and make sure it works.
Sure. All right. Well, we'll use the dice here. What do you have to roll under?
This
could be your best move of the night, or this could be a monumental failure. We'll find out.
The attempt score is a 75 right now.
All right. I'll roll the dice here.
Oh, okay. I got 10. But...
50. You still make it. All right. You focus your mind and you jump off the pole, and people go. Everyone audibly gasps. Even Letty, you're like, you stop. You go, and then suddenly there's a force field, and she's walking on what seems like invisibility. This kind of rippling blue light that seems to bathe her body and her skin tone perfectly, and with like strange lights that go around her. And she walks around that, and she starts walking above the crowd. The crowd's going, whoa! They're all clapping. They're all pretty amazed at this. Even Letty, you're standing there like, wow.
All right, and so Rouge will announce to the crowd from here, don't forget, tips are very welcome.
Okay, everyone claps and goes, oh, okay. And they start throwing cord chips on the stage, and some throw bullets, and you're in the outer rims right now. I'll explain where the circus is. They're not shooting bullets. They throw bullets. They're throwing clothing items. They throw their number written down on pieces of paper. Everyone throws a whole bunch of different kind of stuff. The usual. Okay, you think you've cleaned them out as much as you could possibly clean them out for this performance. So it's probably time for them to get out. You gotta talk with Letty for a second.
So I'll do a finale of just walking back to the pole and sliding down in a fancy way. Okay,
you slither down feet first, almost like a serpent again. You land in like the splits and like ta-da, kind of like that. And then the announcer is like, "All right, that has been Ruja."
Ruja Vinta, remember it.
Okay, they're like, "Thank you. Tips are encouraged, and this has been the performance for today. Everyone, please kindly fly low." Okay, so they're leaving their money. Some are like, "Oh yeah," there's a lot of guys coming up, and girls and androgynes are like, "Oh, Ruja, we have to talk to you. Can I buy you a drink later?" All the roughnecks are like, out, everybody out. They're pushing them with the brooms, out, sweeping up the garbage, getting them all out. Okay, one guy gets a little rough, and there's a bit of a scuffle happens, but the roughnecks, that's what they're there for. They kind of force this guy out, and they all file out, and the roughnecks all are picking up his jewelry, puts it in his pocket, and whatever the roughnecks find like that, they're usually allowed to keep on the floor. Everything on the stage is yours.
Okay, great.
Okay, you've made a pretty decent haul for the Outer Rims. The Outer Rims doesn't have a lot of wealth. So, okay, Letty's standing there. You see Ruja comes down. She starts surveying her take for the night. Yep.
I'll approach Letty. How did you like your first appearance on the stage?
I actually really liked it. It was like something inside me just like lit up like a Christmas tree, and it was pretty good. I liked it, and I so liked your dance as well. You're so good with that pole thing. It's good.
Well, thank you so much. Well, since you helped with the performance, you can take 10% of what is on the stage.
Thanks. She's already like starting to like, oh my god, put it in my pocket. Just like take it as much as you can.
And Rachel will start collecting and counting and figuring out what is exactly there.
You got, I'll roll treasure. How about that?
Yay!
Okay, there's someone threw up a crappy Gaia map. Someone threw up a small purse with some coins in it. 10 water crystals, which is actually, you would think water, but actually water is a major trading commodity in the Outer Rims. Someone threw up a bottle of Screech, a little flask of Screech for you. There's some strange-looking arrows that are glowing. That is by far the most expensive item. Someone threw up a wine flask. Someone threw up a mechanical robot snake that's snaking around. The quantum arrows are plus 19.
Double check. I do have bows. Bows is my thing.
Oh, if bows is your thing, well then great. So that was your take, Ruja. It's pretty good. It's very rare that there's adventurers in your... It's not rare there's adventurers at the circus, but it's rare that they would give you such a kingly gift.
Ah, nice.
All of the water and the food of water will come in handy to feed your brothers and sisters of the circus.
What did Letty take? What do you want out of this?
I hear crystals. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want the 10 water crystals.
The water crystals, you can crush them and drink. They're to be consumed. It's a way of transporting water.
Oh, are they frozen, or is it just like a hard?
It's exactly like they're frozen, but they don't feel cold to the touch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with those. I'll take
And one crystal will hydrate a regular humanoid in regular temperature for a whole day.
Ooh, nice.
So this is a major trading commodity that you'd find in the Outer Rims, which is currently where you guys are. So, Ruja, you know that the circus has ended up in a place called Trade Town. It's in the Outer Rims. You guys have played Trade Town before. It used to be a much more dangerous place to play. That used to be controlled by a local gang called the Red Cabal, which is essentially a biker gang that is into murder, extortion, kidnapping, that kind of stuff.
They're into it.
They're into it. They're one of the lower level cabals in Gaia, but they're not to be trifled with. But lately, apparently, some heroes came through and cleared them out. And the town used to be called Iago after the main Red Cabal leader, whose name was Iago. But apparently some heroes recently came through and cleared them out, and now Trade Town is a safe place to play again. In fact, it has the auspices of Gaia. No violence is allowed whatsoever in the town. And you've heard rumors, apparently, that even things like sexual assault is not tolerated by Gaia's magic. And the rumor is, you haven't seen it at work and don't know if it's true, but you've been around Gaia enough to know it could very well be true, that if anyone so much as lifts a hand to somebody else, they suddenly disappear. They wisp into nothingness. Such is Gaia's both protection and wrath.
All right.
Nice.
Hasn't happened to us or around us.
No, Aristodemos made it very clear when you all got to Trade Town. He said, no violence now. Gaia's blessings are still work here.
And Letty's like, oh, damn it.
It is called Trade Town, however, because the locals are quite, how should we put it? They tend quite to theft. If anything is left lying around, that gets traded. That's how trades happen in Trade Town. And because thieves, there can't be no repercussions against thieves. They can grab something, they can borrow, they can take something, and then you can't raise a hand against them. So if they have it in their hand, possession is 10/10 to the law in Trade Town.
So for storage, since Ruja doesn't have many clothes, I'm gonna go ahead and say that feather boa is just like all pockets.
Well, she can wear clothes. She has the capability. You tell me of putting clothes on. I don't know.
She doesn't usually.
All right. Sure. Okay. You have a chest. You kind of have your whole tent is kind of set up. You have like chests underneath the stage. So you go down there and you put your stuff in your chests, and you could put like a little kind of a negligee on. Sometimes we get cold. Trade Town is quite cold. It is just a few degrees above freezing at night, and so it is quite chilly at night. There's torches lit, and you have Gaia crystals which emanate heat and light in various places in the tent. So, Ruja, you've got to figure out what you're going to do with Letty here. So,
why are you here, little one?
I'm just traveling, and just seeing things.
What brought you here?
I kind of remember getting here, in this weird box with like there's a steam and naked people, and then I think I fell asleep at the end of the last circus. I think what happened was there was like a lost property room that I was like trying to like steal stuff from, and someone put loads of coats on me, and I got stuck for a week, and I kind of just appeared in the tent again and saw you kind of dancing. So I think I'm trying to find my friends. And then I stumbled on stage by mistake, and I'm just gonna hang with you if that's okay, because I don't really know what I'm doing and really where I'm going, and I'm really small. So
Right, we can find your friends. No
okay,
worries.
cool. I don't remember their names though. So
Okay. So you
That
woke
might-
up in a Gaia pod, and you came and tried to steal, and now you don't remember your friends' names.
Yeah.
An easy problem for Rouge to solve. You think what she's talking about is, and you've heard this, of course, in Gaia, people live many lives, and quite often people will wake up in Gaia birthing chambers, or they're called Gaia pods, more in the core, without their memories. The pods and the chambers are used by Gaiazens to maintain their youth, to feed themselves sometimes, and also to heal wounds. If you have any wounds, you sleep in the Gaia pod. The next day you wake up, all your wounds are healed. Also, if Gaia's blessings in some lands of Gaia are still operating, although Gaia is very, very old and not many lands adhere to this any longer, that Gaia will actually take you under her bosom, it is said, and plant you in a birthing chamber. So even if you were struck down adventuring out in distant lands, if the recycling is working, it's called, Gaia will literally take you into the earth, and you'll end up in a pod and you'll wake up somewhere else. But that doesn't always work, and so it's not a for sure thing. Not at this time in Gaia.
So I get the impression that Letty, who I don't know her name yet, but I get the impression that she encountered, or she was birthed in a Gaia pod because she must have died somewhere.
Quite possible. People just spring out of them too.
Okay.
But they
Right.
quite often, sometimes they wake up with their memories, sometimes they don't have their memories.
Well, I will bring Letty to the ringleader and start asking about any new people that might have entered the circus. This person is looking for their friends.
Sure, okay. All right. Aurora, you and Magnus and Riva are in another tent, and Magnus says, all right, let's try again. When I say the line, you conjure some beasts to walk around me. Shall we try again?
How big?
Perhaps knee height, I suppose, he says.
Okay.
Magnus, here he's our man. If he can't do it, he's not, 2-0.
He goes, I'll get this, Riva. I'll get this. I intend to earn a keep for myself here in the circus, and so I will make this act. It'll work.
I have faith in you, honey. Ready?
Hey, Magnus, when you call him honey, he kind of smiles just ever so slightly. Okay. He holds his hands up. See light starts to play around his fingers, and he says, he clears his voice. His magic amplifies his voice as if it's on a microphone. Says, yes, since the beginning, I'll work on the lyrics. Since the beginning of time, there has been a place called Gaia. You see all these kind of jungles and illusions kind of pop up around him. And he goes, now, Aurora.
Oh, okay. Okay, she starts to cast. And kind of trips occasionally. Thinks really hard. Knee-high bots. Okay. I get a critical success.
Pink and blue magic, pink and white magic goes around her, and all these suddenly out of the ground, all these kind of robots kind of come out. They're like sleek and silver. They have red lines and white lines and dots and dashes. They kind of move around.
And one cat.
And one cat. A bunch of these middle pieces go into more of a feline form. But these other ones are alien. They're strange. They hover around. One of them goes up, goes over Magnus, goes shoots him with a yellow light, starts scanning him.
No, you're supposed to.
He starts flying around, confused. Magnus goes, what?
Just change the story.
He goes, and there was scary robots that tried to scan me and are they going to disintegrate me?
They're not scary.
He goes, okay, one goes, flies over to one of the sweepers, starts scanning him. He goes, hey, starts hitting it, get out of here.
Okay, I walk over and kind of put my hands out to get it.
Okay, it stops. It immediately goes down and obeys you. Flies into your arms. Goes,
Okay, she sits on the bleachers with the robot.
Magnus goes, I think that last part needs a little bit of work.
The robots were great.
They were quite fantastic.
Maybe you'd like different ones. Like
every time you cast, different ones appear. Seems to be no end to them.
Aurora's not entirely.
You see, they all fly around Aurora and kind of seem to go in orbit, stable orbit around her, and seem to nudge around her. And one kind of nudges up against her ankle. The cat nudges against her ankle.
I like the kitty one. Can't get them all.
It's quite obvious that she has an affinity with them. So Magnus goes, I guess we'll have to.
Tell me the story you're trying to tell. Maybe I can pick them if I try hard.
He says, well, I was trying to think of some ballad I might have heard somewhere. I'm trying to come up with the lyrics, but I'm just not much of a poet, I'm afraid.
Ooh, you could try rhyming.
Rhyming?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Magnus, and I'm here to say I like to cast spells every single day.
Or maybe not rhyming.
+2. He goes, he looks embarrassed. Because I'll have to work on.
Effort, but
he says he kind of says muffled, well, I'll have to think of something. He kind of motions at the tarp that's of the tent that was opened, and Aristodemos has walked in. Aristodemos has a inscrutable look on his face pretty much always. He looks like this.
Oh, hello.
He's grown his 5 o'clock shadow out to have a little bit of beard. And you see he's got this little robot in his pocket. You don't know how Aristodemos does it, but he always seems to be perfectly inscrutably put together. Okay, he walks in with this little sly smile on his face.
I dismissed the robots, by the way.
Okay, you dismiss them. They kind of a yellow light goes. They all kind of pixelate and disappear.
Guys.
Aristodemos says, well, Magnus, I hope your act is going to be as impressive as Aurora simply dismissing her constructs. He smiles at Aurora. Magnus goes, yes, well, I'm sure I'll get it. I'm sure, Mr. Aristodemos, that I'll be able to provide something useful for the circus. Aristodemos
It's getting better.
Is it now?
Mm-hmm. We've eliminated many things that don't work. That's progress. Right, Riva?
Yep.
Okay, Riva, you've been sitting over in the corner kind of watching all this go on. You've now got your traveling pants and boots on. They have not asked you to come up with any acts. You're not entirely sure why, but you have been put together with the cooks and the cleaners and the healers. Well, I can't imagine that you're very longing to do your own show. So part of you is happy that you're not in the limelight.
So, when's our first performance? Because I think we need a little more, just a bit of work.
Says, well, we are doing a number of shows this evening. If, Magnus, you think you could be ready, I wouldn't want to rush you.
Can I look at Magnus?
Magnus he looks at Aurora. We shall be ready at the time. Aristodemos says, excellent. I can't wait to see it. He smiles. All right, just then a very attractive, scantily clad, I'm colorblind. Is that purple? Are you purple?
Yeah, like lavender.
Lavender, yes. A scantily clad, beautiful lavender lady with horns walks in, and you see she's walking with Letty in tow.
Oh, there you are, laddie. We were wondering.
Aristodemos. Oh, it's so good to see you again. I found these,
That's
woman.
Letty.
Letty. I did not learn your name yet, I am sorry. But she seems to be lost.
Yes. Lida thought that perhaps Letty could be of some use to you. If not in your performance, then perhaps on the midway, spying out marks.
Yes, this could be.
All right, you see Letty, you see everyone's there. Riva's there, Magnus is there, Aurora's there. Aurora and Riva both are very happy to see you. Magnus seems happy to see you. He seems happy to see you as well, but he also looks for some reason a little sheepish. He kind of waves, he kind of looks down, looks away a little bit. You're not sure what's bugging him.
Hey, Magnus! Hey, buddy! Hi!
We're very happy to see that you're well, Letty.
Okay, Aurora leans over to Letty. He's having problems with his act. It's okay. You're doing great.
Once upon the dawn of my name is Magnus and I like to rap.
No.
I think the dawn of time maybe was better.
I
Maybe
will
we should
look.
get him drunk.
Aristodemus. Aristodemus turns, says, "Yes, wizard. Do you have a library here in the tent somewhere?" Says, "Of course. We have an extensive library that we've collected over the years. Ask Lida. She'll show you." Very well. Magnus bows. Says, "Aurora, Letty, Riva." He bows again. Okay, Magnus makes his way out. Aristodemus watches him go. So, Ruja, the ravishing Ruja, how was your performance today? I'm sure you broke many hearts and took many coin.
Well, not so much coin. I did find a few merchant tokens. Remind me, what is the take that he gets from my...
He
my
takes
collections?
10%.
10%.
Damn.
He says merchant coins.
Yes.
Any food, water?
Some food and water, yes.
He says, good job.
Thank you.
Have you found that Trade Town has been more busy this year? With the adventurers who came through and cleared out the Red Cabal, it's been less exciting, I suppose.
Perhaps less exciting, but definitely easier to pocket a little bit.
He smiles. He says, my thoughts exactly.
And these new people, what would they do for the circus?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? He looks around and smiles. He says, this young man, Riva, here, you see the green-skinned young boy, says he seems to be an able healer and telepath. Letty here has got a quick personality and a quick dexterity.
Yes. And a lot of energy.
Yes.
That's right.
If you don't see any way that you could put her to good use in your show, perhaps at least she can help work the midway. And Aurora, he smiles, he says, is just a grace and a beauty to have with us in the circus. She may do anything she wishes.
Ruja bows her head to Aurora.
That strikes Aurora as
Immediately.
slightly odd for a moment, but she'll go with it.
I think
I'm making
Aurora is...
robots.
Ah,
Not like remember the cat lady? Not like that. She was a little adult, but more like just poof, robots.
Aristodemos says, cat lady?
We met her. Remember, Letty? Remember Riva, the cat lady?
Oh yeah, she was really like crazy.
Yeah. That kind. She was actually building them.
She was probably a junker, an eager. Yes, the junker is a terrible thing. They prefer the word tinkerer, of course. We don't judge here in the circus.
She had dinosaurs.
Yeah. And cats.
Yes, they make many tiny little robots. He motions says, mine was made by one of the finest tinkerers in all of Gaia.
That is
Yeah,
so
Aurora's
cool.
eyeing that robot up.
Okay, it's sitting there in his pocket, looking around. Kind of looks
Oh,
at you,
wow.
goes,
What does it do?
Says, he helps me with running the circus. He's quite the assistant. It's got two big eyes, little antenna, which are got lights on top of them. Aristodemos smiles. He notices you noticing. He smiles. He says, yes, he sometimes helps us pick up signals of the authorities to tell us when it is time for us to make our grand exit.
Aristodemos, speaking of, well, maybe not authorities, but people that we might want to avoid, the coven, they're, are we safe here?
Says, oh, I wouldn't worry about them. You'll be perfectly safe here with us.
I have been, at least.
Ooh,
Not very.
after you two.
Well, there are many from my performances who would be after me in many ways.
Everyone is kept safe in the circus. Aristodemos smiles. Says, now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I have to prepare for our first performance. He bows. He puts the top hat on, hits it with his cane, and with his cane he walks out.
He
Aurora watches
is
him.
so cool.
I know. I really like his,
I really like his
Robot.
face and his robot.
well, and his,
I like his butt.
well, there's that part too. All the parts are pretty good.
All of its parts are good parts.
All right, see the other guy's sweeping up. There's one guy. His name is Harry. He's just like this. He's got kind of like he essentially looks like chimney sweeps from Mary Poppins. He's got suspenders, a white shirt rolled up, and he's got kind of like one of those hats that go to the side.
Or like a
Favorite.
Dickensian hat.
Yeah, a Dickensian hat. Thank you. You know his name is Harry. You've heard them call out to him. He kind of looks at you guys, kind of rolls his eyes, kind of, but with a mirthful look on his face, like a smile on his face, kind of like, yeah, there's girls swooning over Aristodemos again. I've never heard that before. He says.
I'd like to point out Reba was swooning too. Just saying.
He says, well, androgynes, men and women alike, swoon over him.
He's a good face to have for the circus. So, whereabouts did you all come from?
Oh, some pods in Eager.
Yeah, we're all naked.
Ruja, you don't find it that odd that Aristodemos took them in. It's a little odd that Aristodemos always has an end game. You've learned being with years with the circus. But he does take in stragglers, but usually if they can't carry their weight, they do get kicked out.
And the other, the wizard that was with you, he as well woke up in a pod?
And there was someone, and Dose, the shooter. I don't know where they are.
You've been hearing gunshots out there in the night. You're pretty sure Dose is out practicing their sharpshooting.
Oh, that's probably them.
Definitely.
Is that the third one that I saw? The third one, the blue furs?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you know Dose.
Yes, I saw the shooting outside. It is a good act.
You haven't had a sharpshooter in the circus for many months. There was a issue with the last one, so you'd be happy to get that act back.
Yes, it's been a while since we've had a sharpshooter in the circus. Glad to have another. Hopefully, they are as good as they seem.
Seems pretty good.
And the wizard, what is his specialty?
You think back to all the times that Magnus disintegrated people, and you're thinking, he's more of a warlock, really. Not much of a showy wizard, more of a destroy you when he gets scared.
He makes good force fields and avalanches.
Can be useful. Perhaps not in a show, but they can be useful.
Rusha, you struggle to think how this might help in an act. You're like, okay. But always charming. You're polite, of course.
He's great.
Okay, Rusha, roll CE.
It's a 73 out of 75, so I made it.
All right, you just made it. You noticed a little bit of emotion there on Aurora's face when she said that. Just a hint of it.
I'll respect her privacy there.
+2.
Oh,
+2 for
nice.
discretion. In your job, you acquire quite a bit of discretion.
we're actually we're working on an act. Maybe you could give us a tip, given I don't know what you do, but you.
Mostly dancing, but yeah, I see many acts. So if you'd like some advice, I'd be happy to watch.
Well, I was mostly helping Magnus. I was gonna help Dose as well, make things shapes to shoot. I think Magnus is planning to tell a story.
A story.
Hopefully not in rhyme.
But it could be in rhyme. Does he sing?
Can you see Reva shaking his head like this?
I'm sure he sings. The question is, does he sing well? And
Do you sing?
well, no, I don't think so. I have good instincts, and I can summon robots. Apparently, I can't remember anything else, and it doesn't seem like anyone else can. She looks to Riva and Letty.
Yep, I
Yeah.
Nothing.
not summon
Nothing,
robots.
nothing.
But it is
Not the
impressive.
robots.
It is impressive. So you think you can summon these robots for the sharpshooter and to assist in the story?
Oh well, I don't want those to shoot the robots. I mean, that's not nice. But I was thinking maybe shapes, and he could shoot through them.
What if maybe because I'm quite like quick and like slippery. What if we had this thing where Doss had to like shoot things that were like balanced on my head or something, and I could like quickly move out the way?
It does sound dangerous, which does bring crowds. So
It's very dangerous, but it's kind of fun because I'm just really quick. So
As if on cue, a disgruntled-looking man comes in. He's got a long, scraggly gray beard. He's got balding on the sides. He's got kind of hair that kind of comes out to the sides. Kind of a frazzled look. He's wearing a purple robe with faded, old white stars. You know him well. His name is Royd. He's been the illusionist that the circus relies on quite a bit for quite some time. He comes in. You guys are in the mess tent practicing all this. He comes in. He starts barking something at the cooks, and gets. He pulls out a little flask. Takes a big swig. So what was this about illusions I heard?
who mentioned illusions?
Says you did. You were talking about it when I came in.
Oh yeah, we were gonna make things for Dose to shoot.
Says, oh, you are ya?
Or maybe not.
Ruja, you know that Royd has a very, let's put it politely, a very prickly disposition. In fact, him and Lida and Adil are essentially kind of the second in command of the circus. Although Royd thinks he is and would like to be. And he's gotten into it with Aristodemos many times. Royd is disgruntled probably because a lot of the circus leans on him. He's helped a lot of new acts. He's a very powerful illusionist. He can create illusions with feeling, vibrations, sound, light shows. He's essentially the walking circus for like 60% of the acts. And so he walks around with a swagger like he owns the place. And him and Aristodemos have almost come to blows numerous times.
Okay.
So you're used to every form of rudeness in your job, but you're especially used to him because he thinks he's so great, and you've been able to ignore him or charm him, you know.
Yeah. Well, hello, Royd. Yes, they were thinking of doing their own little act, not involving you, though. They did not want to use your talents if you are too busy, I know.
Uh-huh.
And if you would like to meet them, Royd, this is Aristodemos' new recruits. We have Aurora. The little one is Letty.
hi.
And a new healer. And I think this is very good for the circus. We have Riva.
Hello.
Yeah, that'll come in handy for when Turk or Cozy finally crashes and murderifies one each other.
Well,
Hello.
murder, the healing, yeah. But yes, they were. This Aurora, she can summon robots, is what I heard.
Oh, she can she?
So I think this was what she wanted to use for the act.
Uh-huh. So let's see it, sweetheart. Some of your little robots.
Okay, she starts casting again.